Do you worry about investment risks, specifically about stock market risk, because you have money in stocks and you have this constant underlying worry that your net worth might drop or you may lose money, or you avoid investing in stocks because you're worried that you'll lose money if you do invest in stocks? Well, you're not alone. I've been investing for almost 40 years, and that's what I write about at retiresurgeon.com. That's what I talk about here on my YouTube channel. I am not selling wealth management services. I just am a nerd around investing and money, and I like to talk about it. It's sort of my thing. And in this video, I want to share with you a strategy that just takes, it's really more of a process. It takes 5 steps only for you to estimate how a stock market crash, a bear stock market, will affect your net worth. Now, just like the last challenge, and thanks for that great feedback on the last challenge, I'm glad you liked it. I've created a handout and it's absolutely free. You can get it at retiresurgeon.com/choice. We've got it all set up. Enter your name and email, and we'll just email it right to you. And in this challenge, it's only 5 steps, but what you'll end up with is an estimate of how stock market, bear markets, stock market crashes that we've had in the past will affect your net worth. Now, let me tell you why this is so important and sort of give you some perspective on this, okay? And I come from this from being an investor myself. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not selling you wealth management services. I like investing, and I've lived this. I still live this, and I understand the fear around investments and around losing money. First of all, it's natural for all of us simply because our money pays for our shelter, our food. It taps into our deepest needs of survival. And so we all have those fears and those concerns about money. Now, the way that you can overcome that or address that and move from a place of worry and fear is by knowing more about it. And when you know more about it, you can make good choices. And that's why I set up the handout at my website with the page choice, retiresurgeon.com/choice, because when you do this, you will see that you have a choice about your investments. It's like everything in life. Once you see that you have a choice around what you're doing, even though it doesn't feel like it, you are in a completely different place. You're empowered and you can affect the outcome because you can change what you're doing, okay? So that's point number 2, is to realize simply that you do have a choice, and when you take action to see where you are, it reveals your choices. It empowers you to make really smart choices. Okay, the third point I want to make is that bear markets are a fact of life. So bear markets, I hear people say if the stock market crashes, and I don't really like the term crash, but it's what I find a lot of people use on the internet. It's really called a bear market when it drops 20% or more. So but when the stock market crashes, or if the stock market crashes, so I like to say it's not if the stock market crashes, it's when the stock market crashes. It's sort of like living in Florida. We know if we live in Florida, we'll have hurricanes, right? I used to live on an island, and I knew we would have hurricanes, right? And so when we accept the fact that something is going to happen that we don't want to happen, then we can be prepared. We can deal with it emotionally. When it does happen, we can handle it. The stock market is the same as the hurricanes or the earthquakes or whatever it is that we say if this happens, when we know it's going to happen again statistically, right, based on history. So bear markets are one of those things. So let's shift our mindset, and it took me a couple of decades to get this one, right? So let's shift our speech, our mindset to when a bear market happens. I am going to do this because I have done this and I'm okay with it. I'm ready because I know how it's going to affect me. Okay, so the other point I want to make is that when a bear market does happen and newspapers or now the internet is covered with stock market crash, you hear, the markets drop 30%, 40%, 50%, even 60%. The NASDAQ dropped 60% in the early 2000s, right? So I've done this. When you hear that, you feel like, oh my gosh, my net worth, my wealth has dropped by 60%. But it probably hasn't, as you're going to see when you do this. You'll see that maybe it affected your wealth or your net worth by 20% or 10% or maybe 30 or 40%. And you may decide that's too much for you, which is the next point I want to make. When you do this and you have this knowledge, then you can choose to make adjustments so that you change your risk. And guess who that puts in control? It puts you in control. Now, you may work with a financial advisor. If you do, that's great. You can do this. You can have a conversation with your financial advisor. They will respect you and admire you for taking this action. You'll impress them by having, understanding of this and being able to have a conversation around it and what you can do to prepare for the next bear market, because there will be another bear market, right? And so that's what I wanted to share with you. I'm super excited. I hope you'll do the challenge. You can grab the handout. Now I'll stop here because I'll take you step by step in completing the handout. So just like I did with the last challenge, next one we'll talk about the very first thing. So I'll end here so you can grab the handout and then be on the lookout for the next video. I'll get it up as soon as we can. My editor is my son, and so we'll get that up as soon as possible. Should be in the next few days. And be on the lookout. Oh, subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll know when we have put together the next video for you on that very first field. So grab the handout now, retirecertain.com/choice, because you do have a choice about your investments, about your money, about creating your wealth. And when you do this and you take actions, you're in charge. You're controlling your financial destiny, not some unknown, scary fact that you're just really not sure about. So thank you for watching the video. Subscribe, grab the handout, and if you like this and you're excited about the challenge, click the thumbs up button or a thumbs up little hand thing below the video. Thanks for watching.